Hello everyone. Kanisa Fellowship is introducing Church Out of the Box. On the third Sabbath of every month, Kanisa Fellowship will explore fresh ways to embrace the beauty of worship while creating engaging opportunities to connect with each other and the community outside the usual way we gather in the church building. So why are we doing this Church Out of the Box? When we look at the church Jesus created in the Bible, we see a transformative, joyful experience that continually grew. He invited people to journey together with him, and as they did, their lives were changed. The simplest definition of church is what Jesus said in Matthew 18, verse 20, where 2 or 3 were gathered in his name, he was there with them. That's church. The Bible never defines church as a building, but rather as a group of people who follow Jesus in a bond of love and unity that is nothing short of miraculous. While the Sabbath experience traditionally happens in a church building, Jesus shows us various ways that people can experience God together. Church can be, for example, eating a meal together, walking along the road, attending a wedding, being in the wilderness, crossing a lake on a boat, and just generally serving and blessing people in everyday life. It's all church. Jesus made us the temple of the Holy Spirit, and God is present whenever and wherever we gather. Church Out of the Box is Kanisa Fellowship's journey to embracing the biblical way of doing church and reigniting our community. Let me share with you 3 benefits of Church Out of the Box. The first benefit is a greater awareness of God's presence. Jesus showed us a God that was involved in everyday life. Indeed, when we gather for the traditional program on the weekend, we experience God together. However, the church gathering also happens when we just call someone to check how they're doing, or when we're sending an encouraging text, when we share a meal together, when we're serving others, visiting the sick, even connecting through a Bible app. These are all ways that we experience God. We begin to see God outside the religious boxes that we have tried to put him in. The second benefit is greater authenticity. Coming to church on a Sabbath is a familiar and safe experience. While we enjoy the worship and fellowship with our brothers and sisters, we find comfort in the formal routines of a typical Sabbath experience. Church Out of the Box allows us to put our faith into action, getting into the streets, parks, community, to meet the hungry, lonely, or curious people around us expands our muscle of faith. Setting aside the formalities of church work makes room for our authentic desire to demonstrate Christ's love to people trying to live their best life. We move from being spectators in a pew to authentic participants in the work of the kingdom. Jesus shows us a church experience where it is safe for people to come as they are and then become changed as they journey with Jesus. And the third benefit is joy. Another benefit of this church as life gathering is joy. Growing up in a traditional church, it often seemed more of a practice than a passion, an expectation versus an experience. In the Bible, when people encountered Jesus, his love and power inevitably led to joy, laughter, celebration, and rejoicing. Meeting in small groups, sharing stories of encouragement, serving others, connecting authentically online to do life together, these things move us from consumers of spiritual content to participants of joy-filled moments with the Holy Spirit. So how does Church Out of the Box work? At Kanisa Fellowship, our largest gathering is on Saturday mornings, the Sabbath day, where we meet at the church home to encounter God and each other in the usual way. However, on the third Saturday of each month, we will have Church Out of the Box, where our gatherings may be very different. We may meet at a park, head downtown with our street feed team. We may have a meal together. We may listen to stories of encouragement. The sky's the limit of what we can do. We will usually start around 11 a.m. and will flow into the afternoon. So friends, at Kanisa Fellowship, the word fellowship is central to our identity. We believe Jesus gathers us together to love one another and bless the world around us. Church Out of the Box is where we can experience God's transforming love in new ways, and you are invited. Stay connected by visiting kanisafellowship.com, subscribing to our newsletter, or surfing our social media profiles for information on our next adventure. Thanks, and God bless.